Yeah, so one of our last person, our last lady, our last speaker, our last guest, whatever you want to call her, is she's actually having trouble logging in, but I would go silent to resolve that. Okay, Kende, you're in the bus. It's okay. You can still listen and learn. Okay, let me quickly, our time is fast spent, so let me quickly introduce everyone again. And as I introduce each person, they can like talk a bit about what you're going to get from their own room, because we're all going to go out into breakout rooms. So the first person I'm going to introduce is Linda. And Linda is, okay, so if you want to perfectly describe Linda, the word will probably be educator. So she loves to share knowledge wherever she finds herself, and she is currently a developer advocate at the SmallStep Labs and the curator of everything technical writing.com. So Linda is, oh, our last speaker here. Linda is going to be in charge. She's going to be the speaker, the panelist, the guest in the Get In. So everyone that is interested in learning more about getting into a career, Linda is the person to go to. And with that said, I'll give Linda like 5 minutes to just talk a little bit more about herself and what you can expect when you enter her room. So Linda.
Hi everyone, my name is Linda, and I think she has given like a fair introduction of like who I am. Away from work, I play a lot of tennis. That's probably one fun thing about me. And in my room, we'll just be talking about like how to pivot from one career to another if you're like, getting signs that maybe where you're not happy with it and you're thinking of, how to move from that career to another spot. That's what I'll be handling in my own room. So be expectant. Thank you.
All right, cool. Thank you. So all of you that are, looking to get into one career or the other, you now know where to go. Now, the next person I'm going to introduce is Seyi. Mr. Seyi is here, but we're talking about Seyi. So Seyi, also known as Seyi you know what? I'm not going to do that. Seyi is a seasoned professional with over 7 years of experience in the fields of genomics and molecular diagnostics. She specializes in the development and expansion of diagnostic and healthcare businesses and is based in Lagos, Nigeria. So Seyi is going to be in charge of our growth space. So I'll allow Seyi tell you a bit about what you can expect in her room, so you'll know if that's the room you want to go to.
Thank you, Timmy. I really like Linda. She didn't even use her time, but me, I am going to use my 5 minutes. So my name is Seyi. I'm just going to give you, I'll tell you a bit about my career path so far. So I started as an intern in IITA in Ibadan. I'm going to give you my timelines as well, so that when I'm teaching you how to grow, you would know that you are learning from somebody who has grown. Started as an intern, I was an intern for 6 months, became a sales assistant in a genomics company for another 6 months. After that, I grew to become a sales manager. I was a sales manager for a year, trained other sales managers, then became operations manager. I became operations manager for Nigeria and then became operations manager for West Africa a few months after. And after that, I became the regional sales manager after serving for 2 years as an operations manager. After being a regional manager, then I became the West African manager for a multinational genomics company. And I have just in 1 minute summarized what happened in 8 years. In my breakout room, I'm gonna tell you all the story now. It won't take 2 minutes, so Temi, don't wink at me. Just know that I want you to focus and stay with me. I'm trying to teach you something from this story I'm about to tell you. It's not about me. So my dad told me this story a few years ago, and it's about a mechanic that they used to call Asheshe number 1. Remember the name? So he was a Peugeot expert. My dad, I remember when he told me this, he said they were the bosses of Peugeot in Abeokuta. And this was in the 1970s. Asheshe number 1 was an apprentice of Asheshe. He earned that title number 1 because he was the best apprentice, you know. And so then when everybody came to the mechanic shop, I'm sure that everybody that has a car, if you go to your auto guy, there's somebody that you want to touch your car. And there are some people you don't want to touch your car, you know, and Asheshe number 1 was the guy that everybody wanted, you know. And when they tell them, oh, he's busy, they will say, don't worry, we'll wait for him. And they would wait for him till he was done with other cars to come and fix his car, to come and fix their car. So 1970s, Peugeot 404, Asheshe number 1 was raining. Late 1970s, Peugeot 504, Asheshe number 1 was raining. Early 1980s, there came the pickup versions of 404 and 504. He was raining. At the end of 1980s, then we had the 505s. It was still raining. And when the late 1980s came, the Japanese cars started coming in, Nissans, Toyotas. And they told him, oh, we have a Toyota, do you want to fix it? And Asheshe says, no, we don't fix small cars, we fix Peugeots, you know? And in the early 90s, Peugeots ran out. They faded off. And guess who faded with Peugeots? Asheshe number 1, correct. So what I'm gonna teach you today is, I'm gonna use this story to teach 3 things. Number 1 is growth by demonstrating value. Number 2 is growth by expansion of knowledge. And number 3 is growth by, I'm looking for the word now. Expansion of skill, but it's not expansion. I'm trying to, let's say, development of skill. Let's put it that way, because I want you to understand the expansion of knowledge and developing the skill. You might know what is happening, but if you don't develop the skill to actually adapt to what is happening, you're going to fade out. So every other thing that I will be saying today will come up from those 3 points. Thank you.
Well, interesting. So I don't have to say anything else. There's not much to say after that. So for those of you that are looking to grow, then you already know what room you're going to go. Now, it's interesting that Seyi mentioned a mechanic, because our final speaker, our 3rd person, who's going to be talking about thriving in the career, you know, so let's just say you've gotten into your career space, you've grown, of course, like you've pretty much grown, and you're beginning to think like, okay, yeah, what's up now that I've grown? You think you've made it, you've not made it, because growth is consistent. Now it's more than just growing, it's more about thriving. It's like making an impact and things like that. So for that room, we have, please correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not sure if it's Ida or Ida. I think it's Ida.
It's Ida.
Ida, sorry.
But it's so okay. The French call me Ida.
Okay,
and the English call Ida.
All right.
And the Nigerians say Ada.
Well, we have Ida, and Ida is an auto mechanic technician and the founder founder executive director of Fitafal Autos. So Fitafal Autos is a digital market platform that connects the automotive industry to technicians and the general public that is struggling to make meaningful connections in the Gambia, where African women in STEM, not just Nigerian women in STEM. Fitafal also deals with the maintenance and repairing of vehicles. She is also the founder of Clocked Vets Foundation, a youth-led foundation that advocates and train young people, especially females, on technical and vocational skills. Over the past 4 years, Aida has become a sought-after automotive diagnostic specialist. So that said, I'll allow Aida a few minutes, about 5 minutes, to tell us about what her space is going to be like.
Thank you. And I will start by apologizing. I was having network issues. That's why I have to come outside. Sorry for coming late. So hello, everybody. So I'm Aida. So today I will be talking about drive. Using my career path, I think I will use conflict to drive, because as growing up, I never thought I'm going to be a auto mechanic engineer, because I did ICM and I did ICM and I majored in business law. And after high school and after graduating, I realized that this is something that I don't want to do, because as a young girl, I'm always fascinated about cars, not only cars, but many things around my environment. And as much as people, especially teachers and other people, always tell you, if you're very good in maths, if you're very good in science, if you're very good in speaking and all other fields, you have to be a doctor, a lawyer, all these fields are okay. But then, do we always think about those people who build our houses to protect us against climate change? Do we think about those people who manufacture cars, our mobile phones, our laptops, our televisions? These are some of the things I'm missing. So I grew up fascinated about these things and I want to learn more. But my mom has a dream for me to become a banker. And that's where the conflict comes in, because the conflict was, you have to do this because you are a woman and this career path is for you. And then that has the conflicts move away, then I have to follow what I believe in and what I love doing, that is fixing cars. Then after my graduation, I just had to transit to go auto mechanic apprentice, where I wipe the whole, clean all the tools and be around lots of men. And they always tell me that, Aida, this is not your place. You are a woman, you should go to the kitchen. And that's the conflicts develop. So what I will teach today is how to use conflict to drive your passion and drive the path that you will becoming you, a real you. Sometimes we think conflict is something that will stop us from achieving our goals and our dreams. But let me tell you this, conflict can really challenge you to be stronger and to help you drive the change and the goal that you want to achieve in life. So that's what I want to tell people. So if you want to join my room, you're welcome. Let's have a discuss deep down using my story as an example, and then using your story, and then let's see how to fix our conflicts to drive who we want to be in the future. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, like if I came in here thinking I was going to enter the one particular room, I really don't know which room I want to go to now. Anyway, thank you so much, Aida, for that introduction. And it's even perfect because we're 1 minute after the hour. So the rooms are open, I believe. I'm going to open the rooms. So broadcast message to all. So the rooms are open, and sorry, I switched my rooms. So you can just go ahead and join whatever room you want to go to. I think people are already doing that. And if you need any help, I will be here in the homeroom. I will be here in the homeroom, you know, as a guide or whatever. So yeah, happy learning, and we'll all be back in 30 minutes, by the way. So, oh, I don't think I set it.
Linda, have you been able to join? So you should have seen a pop-up.
Yeah.
But for anyone who can, so just go to the bottom of the Zoom screen, look out for breakout rooms. Once you click on it, a pop-up will come on, and you can choose to join any room that you want to. So there's Get In, there's Grow, and there's Thrive. The Get In room is for those looking to get into a particular career field, whether it's in science, tech, engineering, or math. And then Grow is for those who are already somewhere, you're at a particular stage and you're looking to make meaningful growth in your career. And then Thrive is for everyone who's great, they're solid with where they are, but you want to still figure out how to make better impacts and also find your true self. So let's get ahead to joining. So we still have I know Olutoke, Nonami, Shade, where do you want to go? You can join me in the Thrive room. I'm going to be in the Thrive room, and off I go. So bye.
Thank you, Amade.
Details of what?
Hi.
And you, hello.
Hi, Wamide.
Hey, Vic. Hi.
It's mommy.
Hello. We have a guest.
Yeah, okay, it's mommy. Mommy is here, so you have to go in with daddy. Bye-bye. Can you please grab her hand? She's gonna go with the dog hair. I'm so sorry about that, ladies.
That's okay. That's okay.
So I'm here. So, oh, sorry if I get your name right. Is it Singh?
Zik.
Well,
Zik.
Zik.
Okay.
Yeah, Zik. Yeah.
Okay, Zik. So, what if I would like to ask, what are you doing? Are you?
I'm into marketing and communications.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I work at a cryptocurrency exchange.
Oh, very well. So if I ask, do you have any sort of conflicts that you think this particular thing is what is holding me back? It's a setback for me to go in my career?
No, please come again on that. I think I get that.
So I'm asking, this is the career that you love to do.
Yes, it is.
So do you ever think or have a feeling that you might have something that is a setback or something that is a conflict that you're fighting with to achieve your goals in your career?
Well, I guess to some extent, yeah, there are some things I guess that would help in my career, but yeah, I'm not quite sure where the question is getting to, or where the question is heading to.
Okay, let me share mine. So after finishing college as an ICM student and major in business law, my mom wanted me to be a banker. And if I choose that career, it's a perfect career.
Ida, sorry. What exactly does ICM mean?
ICM means commerce management. Commerce international management.
Oh, okay.
So that's what I mean. So it's commerce international management, and then, so my conflict was like when I started to study auto mechanic engineer, there was a conflict in my house. There was a conflict in my friends. It was even hard for me to find a boyfriend. So what I did was like, I don't let that be a setback to me. I tried many times. I tried for 3 years to convince my mom this is something that I want to do, but she didn't believe me. And nobody in the society believes me because my previous life and this life is totally a different path. So you know how I deal with the conflict. I went to do my apprenticeship, and then I realized that apprenticeship only will not give me an edge in the industry because remember, I am a woman and I always need to prove myself more than men. All of us, it doesn't matter which career path you choose, but a woman always have to prove herself 2 times more than our male counterpart anywhere in the world. So that's when I choose to go to school to learn an automotive engineering. And my teacher, the person who should teach me in school, tell me that I have no place in the school because that was for male. And I am too cute to be in a mechanic class. And I remember it was just 2 girls in the whole school, full with boys. I think it's 70 people, and we were only 2 girls. And then because I was ashamed of society, I was ashamed of everything, I hide myself in my clothes. So when I'm going to school, I don't wear my overall. I wear normal clothes, wear my wig, have my eyelashes and everything else. Then you will not know who I am. So that what will that cause? That will cause me not.
Oh, it actually dropped out.
I think she
Maybe
did.
network.
Yeah.
Internet issues.
Yeah. Sorry, Zeke. Sorry to put you on the spot. We should have had more people in this room. And the idea
no worries.
for each panelist to sort of engage with the audience. So I think that's why she was asking those questions.
Well, yeah, I guess. I was a bit confused because from her story, my story is a bit different. I chose my own paths, and I think I enjoy my path, so I was not quite sure where it was headed.
Okay, got you. Well, fingers crossed. She's able to join in soon. I know she had
Yeah, I know she mentioned she had network issues before.
Exactly, so I'm not sure. Oh well. Let me see if I can. If we don't have more people joining, hopefully when Ida joins again, I'll just see if I can also ask her a couple questions. It'd just be good to hear more about her story.
Okay.
Yeah. Really hope she's able to join.
You guys document their stories, yeah?
Sorry?
You guys document their stories and share the stories.
What do you mean document? That's true. Marketing, please give us all the ideas. Document how?
Yeah,
By recording
yeah,
this.
no, just videos. No, videos. Maybe they could just do a video of the story, how they got into where they got into, and then those could be videos they could share on Instagram and YouTube, or you could just post it on your Instagram and YouTube and stuff.
Okay, so sort of like STEM stories, but pre-recorded.
Yeah, potentially, but with what's the word? Pre-recorded.
Yeah. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Hey, she's back.
Yeah, okay. I'm trying to assign.
So am I still like
Ida is supposed to be here, right?
yes,
It's
I'm
supposed to be. We're the seasoned people. Okay, here she is. She's back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi.
Sorry. Hello, sorry. My network was very bad today because it's raining.
Oh, and it's looking so lovely outside.
Exactly. The weather is actually looking good.
Yeah, and it's raining very bad. So, okay, I stopped at the part of me hiding inside my, inside what society was using to judge me. So I would dress like a normal dress and go to work and go to school and then do the usual always. So then I stop and ask myself, you know, the world is a very large place. If you don't tell people and if you tell the world who you are, what you have to offer, the world will never come to you. Nobody will actually know that you're surviving. So you have to sell yourself. Before anybody else sell you, you have to sell yourself. So I start my apprenticeship 3 months before my mom's nose. So what I'll do every day is like I'll wear my overall everywhere. I wear my overall in banks, in markets, in naming ceremonies, in weddings. And I remember people always looking at me like a crazy girl everywhere I go. But I was determined because that's the conflict I want to use to drive my change and achieve my goals in my career path. So I keep on doing the same thing. And then people start recognizing me. In the Gambia, you could not talk about TVEC, that's Technical Vocational Education and Training, without mentioning my name. You could not talk about mechanics without mentioning my name. Then I start to challenge the biggest mechanic people in the Gambia. Because what I'll do is like, when my mom was always cussing me at the house, telling me, oh, you want to be a good boy, you want to do this, I will use that time very good, and then I will research. When my friends don't want to hang out with me because I'm always dressed in a mechanic clothes and have oil stain all over my body, I don't mind. I have already rebuffing myself to become who I want to be. That is my dream. I have to chase it. So what I'll do is it doesn't bother me. I need to strive. And there's no looking back. I will look at my corner, I will sit down and I will research. I will go to people who are more superior than me, who have more experience than me, and I will ask them questions. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter if you are a man. It doesn't matter if you are a woman. As far as I want to know the wisdom, I want to equip myself with the knowledge. It doesn't matter if you are also a young person or an elderly person. It doesn't matter. My goal is like how to strive on my career. Then I start doing that. And I remember every time I go to the bank, people will always tell me that, do you go under the car or on top of the car? So those are the questions that people challenge you with. I always laugh and keep on doing what I do. And so then I start walking through my journey to still drive towards my career. I start walking and then I remember they were paying me less than $30 a month. But it was fine. I was willing to take the sacrifice and to follow my drive. Then I start advocating. I tell myself that, Ida, you're not the only one who is going through this. And if you want to be the voice, you have to go outside there. Forget about the whole conflict. Forget about the conflict you have with your family, with your friends, with your coworkers. Forget about everything. Whenever they want to, the example where I was working, my boss will really make it hard for me because sometimes he will not let me do the job that he has assigned me to do because he thinks I am weak. So all of that is frustrating. It's a challenge. You have gone to school and you're not allowed to do what you have been taught to do. So, but I didn't let all of that bother me. I was just focused on my drive. So basically what I started doing to drive more in my career was to go out and talk to people, to use the media as one of my most powerful selling channel to sell myself, because I have to sell myself out there. I have to tell people who I am. If I didn't sell myself, I would not be here today. You guys are in Nigeria and I am in the Gambia. So I use the media. I become a strong advocate for TVEC. Then I start going out. Then I start selling parts. I start opening my own business. I started was a mobile mechanic. It's always very good to sit back from the crowd and observe what everybody else is doing. Just sit back. They will say you were quiet, you don't talk much, but as the saying goes, people who have wisdom don't make too much noise. You sit back and you watch on your industry. Watch your industry. I used to tell people that some of us are developers. We develop and others follow. Some of us are creative thinkers. We all have these gifts that we are very good at, but you have to sit back and watch everybody else, and then watch back yourself, and then reflect on your drive and on your career and what you want to do and what you have to offer there. So that's what I do. I sit back because, one, I was a woman in a male-dominated sector. And secondly, I always have to prove myself in my career path. So what I do is like, because it's very hard to challenge those people there, because they have been in the market for a very long time. I was just a young mechanic. I didn't have money to open a very big company. I didn't have nobody sponsoring me and anything else. So what I have to do is like go to them and learn from them and sit back and look at their weaknesses and use those weaknesses against them. So what I did is when I sit back and watch, I see everybody. And then I use that against the industry in the Gambia. I said, okay, I compare other countries. So, okay, this is their weaknesses. So I'm going to use their weaknesses as my advantage. So it's always important to do that in your career. In whatever career you are, sit back a little bit, observe everybody, make research on that career, see the weaknesses, and they always say weaknesses can be strength. All weaknesses can be strength. It depends on how you use them and how you navigate yourself through them. So that's where my company started as Fita Fal. So Fita Fal means the mechanic girl. Everybody used to call me. It's a local language called the mechanic girl. So that's what everybody used to call me. So when I had my company, I said, okay, branding is very important. I'm known in the Gambia as a mechanic woman, as a mechanic girl, as a technician girl, all those kind of names. I will use that to name my country, and people think I was crazy. And I was like, okay, they would tell me, you don't have to use Fita Fal. That's a dating name. Use an attractive name. I said, but remember, in the back of my mind, I am using all this conflict to drive in my career. So people have used those names against me. I'm going to use those names to brand myself. They will always remember who I am. They will always remember who I am. So I start my company as mobile mechanic. So I remember I used to tell people that wherever your car has a problem, call me. I will come and fix it. And people think I was stupid, but this is something that was not in the industry. And I upgraded to be a digital marketplace. So now I don't do much mechanic. So the name market itself, anywhere you say Fita Fal, you say, oh, is that Fita girl? Is that Fita girl? Because remember, people always tell you what they want to tell you. But what is important is that the human brain never forgets. It stores this thing. And sometimes you will just sit and say, I had this before. Oh, I see this before, So those things always happen. So branding is very important no matter what career you are, no matter if you are selling something, if you are speaking in the community, no matter what you are, sell yourself. Use those things that you think that these are barriers to me. They are not barriers. Actually, they're things that will make you drive through your career. If you think that, okay, I don't get a proper phone, so this career will not be with me, find an alternative through getting that phone. If you think that, okay, where I live, it's very far from my work, so there's going to be a challenge or a barrier, look for an alternative to be closer to where you are working for. So all these things, all these barriers that we've thought and we believe that are barriers that we think that this is stopping me. Oh, I have to do this, but I don't have this materials. That's why I cannot do it. Always substitute. Always know how to navigate yourself through this, and trust me on this. As my own experience, you will strive through your career if you use all those things that your brain and yourself keep on saying that these are barriers. If you use those barriers, you will drive in your career path. So I talk too much. Let me just be quiet for any questions that you guys have for me. Okay, thank you.
Oh no, please, Ida, that was a very, very, very powerful story to hear from. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much. Like there was so much to draw from that. And like I kept typing and typing and typing so many notes. And what is great about hearing your story is that no matter where you are in your career, there's something to learn, right? There's something in there. And the truth is, as we even advance and grow in our careers, we realize that you can start to feel like I've arrived or something like that. But it's important to bear in mind that, if there are any obstacles or conflict or anything on the way, you use that as a way to actually navigate and get better at what you're doing. So I don't know if anyone has questions, because we actually have, it's mostly guys that are on the call. So you and I are the females, Zeke and Nonami are males. But I have a couple of questions if no one else has. So Zeke, do you have any question, or Nonami? I will take your silence as no questions. Zeke, do you want to say something?
Oh no. I think Ida's story is pretty interesting. Yeah, but I don't have any questions. I loved how she was able to challenge what's it called? What's the word for that thing? Okay, I'm gonna use what is in social media. But yeah, I would have to just challenge the status quo. I think that's pretty interesting, and then being able to drive for what you want. I think that's major. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say. I don't have any questions to say.
Thank you for mentioning that. I see that Norman is trying to connect, so maybe when he does, he might have something to say. But I wanted to, you sort of mentioned it, Ida, how you're working in a male-dominated field, right? And in my career as well, I've had my fair share of working in male-dominated spaces. And I was just wondering, how did you establish yourself for real? Like, and then how did you, combat the nuances? Did you have any situations whereby you were harassed, or if there was any situation whereby someone wanted to speak ill of you or talk down at you? I know you may have mentioned them in passing, but I just wanted you to touch base on it again, because really research says that women still make about 28% of the STEM workforce, right? And we understand that there are so many reasons why this happened, and that's part of one of the reasons why CAWSTEM exists, really, to help bridge that gender gap. But we can't solve this just through one way. There's so many different places and different ways to go. So my question basically is, how did you establish yourself in a male-dominated field? Because the truth is, sometimes when women don't find their type or their kind in a field, there's a tendency that they might drop off. So how did you keep going?
Very nice question. And that's even a challenge that I'm having with some of the girls that we are training. They always drop out because it's too much. They say it's too much. And I tell them, what is too much? I don't believe in too much. But okay, what I did was like, I always have that, starting my garage, my maintenance garage, I even have to close it down and then reopen it again, because it was so challenging, because people were not coming to my garage because it's a woman-owned garage. And if STEM has to do with religion. It also has to do with cultural beliefs and everything else. So when all these factors are major factors in it, especially religion, they will tell you that no, a woman should not do this, a woman should not do this, and all these things remain a factor, and it will remain a factor if our mindsets are not changed. So what I do is like, most of the time I ignore. I use the silence way. So I used to get that a lot, especially when I was starting, when I was just growing in my career. I always get that a lot, like, go out of here. This is not your place. You should be ashamed of being here. Don't touch my car. I don't trust you on this. I don't trust you on this. Sometimes these things could really hurt you. But remember, if you look at them as conflict, if you look at them as challenges, if you look at them as barriers, then it will stop you, because your brain has already communicated with your body and tell your body that no, you have to run away, you have to go away. But what I do is like, I use that as a drive. Anytime I have a negative comment, or anytime I think that I have a setback, or anytime I lose a customer, these things are happen. These things will always happen. So what I will do is like, I will use that as a driving force. I will tell myself that, okay, this happened today because this and this and this. Maybe sometimes it's always good to reflect back on yourself. And it's always good sometimes to answer certain questions and to be quiet in certain questions, especially if you are in a male-dominated sector. It's always important sometimes to just stay back and be quiet and look and watch everybody. If you do that, you will know how to deal with certain situations. You will know the type of questions that they will ask you and the type of replies that you will give out that will not hurt nobody. You don't have to go with emotions, because whenever you go with emotions, the emotions will come back on you. So sometimes if you want to achieve your drive in your career, you have to be standard with your emotions. I know people will tell me that, no, Ida, you have to go with emotions, but emotions doesn't give you anything and it doesn't take you anywhere. Being angry, being sad, it kills you in the type of workforce that we are as women. And if men knows that we are emotional people, they use that against us because they know that will just shut us down. So what I did is I never let those things be a challenge. I never use my emotions. I always try to strive and using that as a strength to achieve my drive. So that's what I do.
Wow. Okay, that's amazing. Someone just joined, but I think she just dropped off. Right. I think that's super amazing. So with the girls that you currently train, right, how do you, because I mean, we have to be honest with knowing that not everybody is going to be like you. So how do you help them to keep going?
So basically what I always tell them is like, first of all, right now, before I start this training, long time, I think it's 2018. And in 2018, I still have very few of them because I remember that most of us use emotions more than the way we use our strength. Emotion is I used to tell people, emotion is one of the greatest weakness somebody can use to drive in your career path. Because if you are emotion, it triggers so many feelings that we didn't even understand. Sometimes it just makes you want to quit your job or makes you say certain things that you will regret after and makes you do certain things that it's not you, but it was the emotion that triggered at the time. So right now, what I am doing really well with them, I'm teaching them more of how to control their emotions in this STEM-focused, male-dominated careers that we are. I always tell them that just relax, breathe in, and just don't forget about everything that people are saying about you, because people will always talk and these people will always challenge you. But take that and drive. Right now, there is no man who's gonna challenge me because I have used that to drive in my career.
Yeah.
Nobody has the guts to tell me either go, your place is at the house right now. Well, my husband cannot tell me don't go nowhere either. Or nobody is going to tell me don't touch my car. People will call me and tell me, please, Ida, I want you to touch my car. So I'm teaching them to use their emotions as a tool and as a greater strength to strive in your careers. I believe that if women in STEM use more of their emotion as strength, I swear in 3 years, STEM is going to be full of women.
Amazing. I have one more question before we round up, and that's the place of support systems. So do you have some sort of support system, and what does that look like for you? So is it your friends? Because when you started off, I mean, it was mostly a lonely place, but is there somebody around you that keeps you going?
Well, I would say that in my career, I didn't have that for a long time. I didn't have friends. For a long time, I was in a lonely, they used to say it's in a lonely room. So very long time I was in a lonely room because most of the people will not believe what you believe in, but it's okay. You can blame them. You just have to encourage yourself and keep on going. Yeah. So what, but what I made these people believe in me one day. And how you do that is to keep on striving, is to keep on going, don't slow down. So what I did is like, I still focus on my growth, and I still focus. I remember every week I have a goal and I have a target every day. And what I do that helps me is like, I look at people who are ahead of me. I watch their step, I learn from them, and I always reach out to them, because it's not what they said. Everybody wants to be somebody, but everybody is great being who you are. But if we are growing and driving in our careers, there is just some steps that you have to look, and there's just some guides that you need. That is normal for everybody. So that's what I do. And I concentrate on my growth and on my career, and on how I'm going to use my space to develop myself more, as not as seeing it as a lonely space for me, but it's always a lonely space. But if you concentrate on making it lonely and making it sad, you are drowning yourself back and not drawing yourself forward. As I tell them, any challenges that life throws at us, let us use it and see it as a positive force, so that we can drive. But it will be a setback for us. And right now, I have so many support systems. I have so many. I just won a grant last week from the US Embassy of 25,000 USD.
Wow.
So this is good. So these are things that are coming in. Things are slowly, just how they say, the winds have spread, and you just wake up and say, my Lord has do it for me. So, but this is required patience.
Yeah.
It required patience, and it's required somebody who just don't go with emotion. In fact, use your emotion as a strength, and then you will never be lonely again.
Gotcha. So how long did this take, this whole journey from trying to now?
6 years.
6 years. Okay. Quite some time.
Yes, quite some time.
Quite some time. Well, thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much for sharing your story, Ida. I believe that the breakout rooms are rounding up, so we're going to go back to the main room.
Okay.
And, so you can just click on, I think that would be leave room. Somewhere at the bottom, you would see leave room, and we can go back to the main room. So Zeke and Nonami, please join us in the main room, and we'll see you soon. Thank you again, Ida.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
Leave breakout room. Hi, Tangy, we're here. It looks like other people are still in the breakout rooms. So, hi, everyone.
Yeah, let me.
That's what I was saying. Please message you.
Let me go there.
Okay.
I messaged them on WhatsApp.
Okay. Cool. Okay, I think people are coming back. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed your session. Linda, how did it go?
Sorry.
You sound like you've had a long day.
Yeah, like I've been sitting in this chair since like 11 a.m. I don't think I've stood up from here.
Oh my days, I hope you've had something to eat. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you. I hope you enjoyed your breakout room. Welcome everyone. Welcome back. Hi Jade Sola. Hi Victor. Victor is your brother, right? Awesome. Hi Jade Sola. Hi Ife Oluwapo. Hi Zeke. Hi Rebecca. Hi. I think the people from Seyi's room don't want to leave, so Temi is definitely harassing them. Hopefully they'll join us shortly. But in the meantime, if anybody wants to like hop on and share what they've learned, that'd be super helpful, just so that we touch base with one another. Hi Mercy, I see that you just joined. Does anybody want to say something? Please. Who wants to build a cat? Linda, you can still share if you want to. If there's some gems that you can drop for us, please, by all means, because I missed being in your room. So
I think I did a recording or something. So
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We're also doing a recording here, so I can definitely check that out. I was in Ida's room and it was amazing. And I mean, backstory, Ida owns like an auto mechanic shop in the Gambia. And of course, starting that, it was really, really tough. So much so that, I mean, how do you start a shop and then somebody says, please don't touch my car, or you want to fix something for them and they say, don't touch it. And I mean, that's something that everyone in one way can sort of relate with, especially being a female in a male dominated space, right?
Yeah.
And I really like something that she said about like using your emotions to sort of keep driving yourself and also trying to detach from those emotions. And I guess that's something we need to learn as women, to sort of try to balance out when to show those emotions and how to convert those emotions from negative energy into positive energy. And it's been what, over 6 years or so now. And just recently, the US gave her a grant for one of the stuff she's working on. And I think that is uber amazing, because I mean, when you start stuff like this, right, you're never really sure what it can do, but you just know that I want to keep going at it. And so it's always amazing to have this kind of support, get validation, get funding for all the things that we're trying to do. So yeah, I thought I'd share that because that was really, really insightful.
That's a very great story.
I know, right? I know. Well, welcome everyone. I think that everyone seems to be back. So I was asking before you guys came in. So thank you. I hope you enjoyed your breakout rooms. Please feel free to put stuff in the chat if you want. And it was really, really interesting. So I'm hoping to just put maybe 1 or 2 people on the spot and sort of hear a bit more about how your breakout rooms went. You know, we weren't part of it, so just give us some insight about what we missed. From Linda's room, is there anyone who wants to share something? Do I need to put people on the spot? Sibel.
Hi, Wami.
Hi, Rebecca. Okay, that's room. Okay, hi.
Yes, I was in her room, and I think for me, what struck out for me was she said something. She said opportunities do not come to the most qualified, but to the most visibly qualified person. So that made a lot of sense to me, because you know how you sometimes think I'm doing great work, so I'm just going to, keep on doing great work and eventually I'll get noticed. While you have someone that is not doing even as much work as you are, but putting themselves out there. And when people think about, let's say you are baking and people think about, oh, I want to order a cake, they don't think about you first because they've never heard of you, right? They think about the person that is always in their face. So for someone that is starting out in your career or transitioning to a new job, putting out the work that you already do, at least the things that you already know, makes it easier for people to connect you to job opportunities.
100%, in fact, 1000%. And that is so true. And I have to say, it's actually super inspiring to hear about Linda's story, right? I've known Linda for about 3 years now, or 4 years already, and to just watch the growth has also been very, very inspiring, even for me. And what she said about visibility is true, right? We all start off at ground zero, to be honest, but it's really what you put in that helps you keep going on and on and on like that. And what you said about being visibly qualified, I just remembered something as basic as, so it was my son's birthday a week ago and I wanted to bake a cake, and I saw Instagram ads or something like that. I just saw someone's page pop up. I checked through what they had done and I reached out to 1 or 2 of them that I had seen, and I settled on one. Why? Because of the work that they had done, because of what I saw. It was visually appealing to me. And that's what we're saying about visibility and representation, right? When it comes to some particular roles or whatever, most people would remember who they've seen, right? So when I think about renewable energy, I remember Rebecca immediately because she's putting out amazing stuff online. She has an amazing newsletter where she writes about renewable energy in the most relatable way. So you might want to just check that out on LinkedIn. It's called the newsletter, I believe, Opnepa really. And yeah, so, and the great thing about this is you can apply it to anything. In Linda's case, I mean, I'm not speaking for her right now, but if I remember correctly, Linda started off as a front-end engineer, went into a bit of cloud, and now she's a developer advocate, right? Weaving through everything and just in all of that, still showing up, right? Because in the end, look, we're all learning, and I wouldn't say we're all winging it because we're trying not to, but we're all learning and we're trying to figure stuff out as we go. And I think that that's, you know, life, basically, whether you're at stage, and that's why you can't look back and say, ah, but this person just started, how come? They're showing up. So please show up in your most authentic way. That's what I would say. Don't try to be someone else, but just show up as much and as well as you can. Do you want to add something, Linda?
I would say that this visibility thing also like goes across board to like working in companies. Yeah, so I've met people that they stay like at a particular position for years, and it's not that they're not like great at their job. Yeah, it's just that they're not like advocating for themselves, and there's actually no one advocating for them too. Yeah. And so speaking up to and, you know, sharing, it applies to your workplace too. I do this thing where I keep a journal of my achievements in each organization. So if I do something, any project that is successful, I go to the journal, I write it down. You know, every time my performance review comes around, I remind my manager, oh, we did this, and look at the results it had. We did this to look at the result it had. This, I've done this, look at what it did for the company, you know, stuff like that. And these are the things that remind your manager that, oh yeah, Linda has been working. And when she's in a meeting that, you know, they're talking about promotions, and it's like, oh yeah, that's true. So this girl has been doing this particular thing, and, you know, advocate for yourself within your workplace too. It's not just outside of your workplace, but within your workplace. You do something, it's not like there's a thin line between
bragging and
make
showing up.
noise. Yeah. And advocating for yourself. So like do it constructively. Yeah, you know, talk about what you did, the challenges you faced, and how you were able to overcome that. Speak up for yourself. Basically, that's just it.
I completely agree. There's no one else that would advocate for you beyond yourself. So advocate first for yourself. Remember, when you remember Linda, you know, she's a developer advocate. You look at your own self and tell yourself, yeah, you're advocates, and be your own career advocate, really. I believe that makes a lot of difference. That's exactly what Ida did as well, in just pushing through the boundaries, pushing through the negativity, and just saying, I'm here and I deserve to be here. But more importantly, it would be also like do great work, because when you do, you can use that and say, this is my receipt, this is what I've done. Like Linda, I also keep a brag sheet of all the things that I do. And, you know, beyond even just work or anything, when you're starting to feel gloomy, you're starting to feel like, oh, do I deserve to be here? You can go over that brag sheet and be like, yo, I did that. And just to plug in, at CAWSTEM, we also run like this I Am Remarkable workshops. Basically, they're workshops where we talk and encourage one another about the amazing and remarkable things that we've done. So if you're not yet part of the community, please join us. And when we have the next one, you'll definitely be in the loop. So I'm gonna put someone else on the spot from Seyi's room. Someone already says amazing session from Seyi. So Rose P, that's over to you. Do you want to share something from Seyi's room?
Oh, yes, I learned a lot from her.
Aha.
And I was like, I'm now having the imposter syndrome. Okay? Because I didn't expect whatever I've learned from the room. First thing I learned how like to grow and steps to take for you to grow. And I learned like for you to grow, you need to demonstrate the value. Okay. Don't be that person who always push for problems, but whenever you push for a problem, try to come up with a solution every time. Be problem solver. Don't be problem creator. And the next thing I learned, grow by broadening your skills. Assume Linda mentioned, you mentioned she was a front-end developer at some point. assumed she was using Angular. She should be like, oh, Angular is now outdated, the Angular version she was using. I need to grow to understand why we have now Angular 12. Why is Angular 9 not marketable? And what's the difference? Next thing, it was like refining your skills. For you to refine your skills, you need to like keep improving based on what you already have. You can do this through your peers, like just adding more to what you have on your existing skills. And I learned like a lot of stuff, but for you to grow, you must need a mentor. And for someone to grow, you must mentor them. For you to learn, you must work with your peers. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you for breaking that down, Rose. I have to say there is no need to have imposter syndrome because we're all a work in progress, really. And that means that you stop sometimes, you pause, you reflect, and you work again to get to where you want to go. Does anyone else want to share something from Seyi's room or Ida's room or Linda's room before we wrap up? Let's see, who else can I put on the spot? Does anybody else want to share? Please. Okay, now I'm begging.
Hi.
Please, I'm begging.
Now I'm begging.
Thank you.
I think Sade. Thank you, Seyi, for the nudge. Sade, the floor is yours.
Okay, can I go ahead?
Yes, please.
Okay. So I learned a lot from Seyi's room. Thank you, Seyi, once again for that insightful session. It was quite worth it. And so she talked about how to grow, especially when you. So for me, and from what she said, growth is a 360 thing. So you don't just look in one direction of growth. It's a 360 thing. It means that you look up to someone you would like to, someone you want to be like, you look up to them, go to their profile, either you have a one-on-one with them or you study their growth path. Then you also look to the people that you're on the same level with, you network, you collaborate with them, and then you grow together. And of course, there are still some people that look up to you also. So you still try to help them up, you teach them, because when you teach, you also learn. So that's a 360 growth thing. And then when you want to move, when you feel like you okay, that's okay. So something is distracting me here.
Okay, that's good. I see Ida nodding a lot. Do you want to share something, Ida?
Oh, well, what I want to say is like, you see, it's like what she last said, it's a 360 progress. The circle will go round and it will go round, it will go round. And the funniest part is it doesn't only stop in our careers, it only doesn't stop in our homes. It's everywhere. It's in your career path, at your workplace, on your university, at home, and it will continue through your family, it will continue everywhere. And so like what I was saying, it's the world has more than 7 billion people and the world is very busy. Nobody wants to know anybody. So if you're there and you're not telling the world who you are and what you have to offer, you will never be there. Forget about having all A's. Somebody who has all these is going to be there. So like what my colleague said, measure your progress and always write them down, because those things are what you will use to motivate yourself. Even sometimes we all feel down. It's like, oh, I can't do this. It's too much. Oh, I have to do. But if you read through those things, it will guide you, it's like a guide to what you're headed to. So listening to this, in their breakout rooms and listening to what all they're saying, it's like a chain that connect each other from growth, from starting your career, from thriving to your career, and the list goes on and it goes on. So let's all try to market ourselves more, tell people what we can do, what we are good of, and also learn from the process, and also always ask if you don't know. And sometimes let's just sit back and watch the crowd and then know how to answer this question and how to drive in our path. I think it's something very, very important. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Ida. Seyi, floor is yours.
Thank you. I wanted to say something that I said in my breakout room, but I wanted everybody to know. And it's about opportunities. And I think everyone might have addressed that in their breakout room. Opportunities may not always come. And I said this specifically because most of us are women. And I said it's not a woman's world yet. So opportunities will not always come flying at you. There are positions that you may not even hear about, but I mentioned something. If you know something, don't shy away. If you know it, talk about it, tweet about it. And I think Linda might have mentioned something like that in her group, because somebody mentioned here that you should the opportunity goes to the most visible, right? Tweet about what you're learning, tweet about where you are, tweet about stuff that you have achieved. And you don't even have to do it in a very formal way, to just tweet about it, put it on LinkedIn and say, oh, I did this project, this very tough project last week, and this is what was the outcome, this is what I learned. You are actually marketing yourself. You are showing people what you can do. If your current employer doesn't see it, your next employer will see it, and they would appreciate that in you and will take you for that. So make sure that you are ambitious and audacious. Come out. Don't stop learning because you feel like there's no opportunity to show what you've learned. Keep learning and keep showing the world what you're learning. Keep talking about it. Don't shy away from things. And about imposter syndrome, I'm very sad that you have imposter syndrome after my session. But about that, sometimes let me tell you this. Sometimes it's actually not imposter syndrome. It's actually that you can't do it yet. Emphasis on yet, because you will still do it. Sometimes you really don't have the skills, not imposter syndrome. Sometimes it's that you really do, and it's imposter syndrome. So you will need to sit down and do some self-checks and see which one it is. Either one it's fine. If it's that you don't have the skill yet, brush it up. Take it up, do and learn the skill. If you do, put yourself out there. I'm telling you for a fact. Yesterday, this happened to me. This morning, this happened to me. Somebody brought me something and I said, I can't do it, but I can do it. And the time I said, I can't do it, I found a way to do it, right? Sometimes just know that the skills that you have picked up, the lessons that you have learned, even in your life, right? For life, sometimes you don't know how much you've learned till you are put in that situation that you need to use it. You don't know that you know Kung Fu yet, but when they put you where there's trouble, you will know that you can fight, because you have been put in the environment that allows for that expression to come out. And that's all I wanted to add. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Seyi. I feel like this night we're all going to sleep with lots of inspiration just booming out of our minds and our systems, and it's great, really. And just before we go, I wanted to touch a bit on rejection, because as we go about life, whether that's all the amazing lessons we've learned today on visibility and branding, on sharing with other people and networking, on putting ourselves out there, on creating and going after opportunities, it's also important to figure out how to handle rejections when they come through, because they will come through, right? And I'm just going to piggyback on some of the things that Ida had said in our breakout room about like using your emotions as a channel towards that. So there might be times you might get rejected. You see a job offer and you think, oh yes, I can do it, and then you apply and they say no, we don't want you. Remember, rejection is not a reflection on you. It is just a time. It's a reflection of the time. But it's also important to take a step back and really reflect and ask, did I not put myself forward in the best way? That seems like I don't deserve this, or do I need to do something more, or is it them? Because sometimes it's not really about you. But basically, I just wanted to say that rejection does not define you. And so as you go about life, as you go about showing up authentically, remember that there's times where you might get rejected, and that's okay. Really, those rejections are actually sort of like stepping stones to where we want to go and where we want to be. So I hope that's useful to everyone here. And with that, we will bring the session to a close. I absolutely enjoyed all of this. I enjoyed connecting with everyone and learning from this amazing woman. Thank you so much, Ida. Thank you, Seyi. Thank you, Linda, for your time. Thank you for showing up authentically. All these three women are very visible. I'd be very honest. So you can find them on LinkedIn if you type in the exact names. So their branding is on point. You'll find them on LinkedIn. You'll find them on Twitter. I think Linda prefers to be found on Twitter. Seyi wouldn't mind LinkedIn. Ida, I'm not sure, but I think LinkedIn as well. So please feel free to connect. What we aim to do at CAWSTEM is to connect as many women in STEM, African women in STEM, whether you're in science or you're in the tech path or in the engineering path or the math path, bring you together and help you collaborate, help you grow and help you become a better version of yourself. So you don't have to do stuff alone. Do you understand? You don't have to do life alone. And if you're already a part of the community, please share with somebody, share with a sister, share with a friend, someone that you think will benefit absolutely from this session. You don't have to enjoy this alone. And I say for sure that we'll definitely have more of these sessions. I see that Rose has a hand up. So yeah, you can go on. Rose?
I'll ask question when you stop recording.
We didn't stop recording. We're still recording.
When you stop, please.
Oh, when we stop. Okay, got you. All right then. And I think that brings it to an end. Does anybody have any questions or thoughts? Yes, no. And with that, I will stop recording.